Okay, day 41. Sorry, I did a really bad job of recording things as I went, so the only time lapse we have of today is putting hinges on the doors. But let me fill you in on kind of what I worked on today. Today I've been working on building the propane tank storage space. So the plan is to have it here. They're supposed to be stored outside, but since we don't really have a good option for that with the bus, we're just going to vent it down through the floor. And then we wanted to be able to put basically luan up all the way around and then seal it in so that it's not leaking propane out into our living space. I built these kind of diagonal things so that we could have one wall going down there rather than needing to kind of build around all of those things. But I had one on the top here and it made it so that that wouldn't fit down in. And even with this one here, I think it's too far over. It's a little too tight. So I think we're planning on taking this one out and yeah, I need to rethink that a little bit. And the other thing that I did today was I built the doors to go on the front of that compartment and this compartment. We also went to Home Depot. Well, first we went to someplace to pick up an order of the ceiling planks that we had ordered. So we ordered like these sheets, 8x4 sheets of what looks like wood planking. So it'll just be easier to put it up. And we ordered 5 sheets. We only needed 4. We ordered 5 so that if one of them was damaged, we could still keep going. We got there and all 5 were damaged, like beyond usability. So we thankfully are returning them and getting our money back. And after that, we went to Home Depot to be like, well, let's see if they have anything that works for us. And we found this discounted sheeting 4x8 sheets for $2.70 each. So it ended up being like $10 for the 4 sheets that we need to do the ceiling versus $130 for the ones that we wanted. And I think it's gonna look just as good. They even bend easier, so they'll match the curve of the ceiling a little bit better than the other ones. So I think it's gonna work out better, but for $10 instead of $130. So that's awesome. That was a win for today. And I think that's it. I think that's all we did today. Sorry, short thing. Yeah. Day 42. The rest of the lugs just came in, so I'm going to do that now. So yay! I messed up and the camera was tipped too far down, so you couldn't actually see what I was doing there. Sorry. And then this is just painting the doors of those 2 compartments that I was talking about earlier. We're painting them black so that they kind of blend in and disappear into the underbed storage area and aren't too bright and obvious. So here are our ceiling panels, which were less than $3 each, which is awesome. Andy they had like a really slick finish on them, so Andy sanded it off, and now we are painting them white. I've already painted the underside of them white. So now we're gonna paint the front. And I am over here painting the doors for the underbed storage compartments. I have also finished wiring everything except the solar panels, because solar panels aren't on yet. But everything is connected, which is kind of terrifying. So we've got our batteries connected in parallel. Those 2 wires go into the charge controller, and these two run from the batteries to the inverter. And then everything is grounded with the green wires. And then this is the fuse box, which comes out of the charge controller as well. We have power. So the batteries are basically already full. So I don't know what time it is right now. I think it's before noon, so we may see about putting solar panels on today, but that's probably going to be tomorrow. All right, so I'm working on the propane tank storage, and as we lift the propane tank up and back in. It kind of twists like that. And the plan was to have just a sheet of Luan from here down to there. It would basically only be able to be attached like on the top and at the very bottom. And so when we pick this up and it swings out like that, it would just bust right through it. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add these middle supports like most of the other ones have in between, just to give some strength to those walls. So now we've got this extra one and this extra one to hold it in place. I didn't add one over here because we've got the wall right there and there's just enough that I think it won't be an issue. And over here, this used to just come to here and then go down, but I changed that small piece out for one that goes all the way across to get a little bit more stability there as well. So I think that will do it. We can probably start throwing some Luan on there pretty soon. So sometimes the creativity that's required of us in a bus build is annoyingly fun. Mostly annoying and a little bit fun. So I just want to share this with you. So I am trying to put these things in all around to give support for a shelf that's going to go, a removable shelf that's going to go over the propane tank. And I've got these little pocket holes here that screw in, and that's real easy to get into that one and screw it. And this one, obviously, screwdriver's a little bit too long to be able to get the right angle. So we jump to this, but that kind of gets in, but that gets in the way and it just doesn't quite have the right angle, so it's not gripping. So the thing that has finally worked is this thing, which I don't think I can show this to you with one hand. So, perfect. So it's putting it in like that, and using that there. And this is how I screw in a screw when we don't have enough room. But, I mean, look at that. Tightened right up, and it's beautiful. Yay! Okay. Andy broke it.
I didn't.
No, you didn't.
Today I had an exercise in willpower where I took the 13-day cabinet to day 14 using this router to create little tracks. So one track is going to be for what we call the reflector, because it's going to be reflecting strip lights that are going to be mounted in this little slot. So the strip lights are going to reflect off of this reflector and into the bedroom. This reflector fills the gap between the cabinet and the curved ceiling. So next we get to go figure out how to fit a reflector that matches the curve of the ceiling. And I also have to get a hole for the wires of the strip lights to come down between two pocket holes, which are already very close together. So there's one and the other one is under there. So I need to go right between there so that these wires can disappear inside the cabinet.
Yay! And then we get to repaint.
Yes. For the third time repainting. The first time was matte finish, and the second coat I accidentally put satin on a few of the faces. So now I'm going to get to redo it because I scratched it up with the router.
But that's kind of a good thing because we wanted it to be matte finish anyway.
Yeah.
So, yay. Good job.
Thanks.
The other thing that I've been working on, there's been a lot today, is this wonderful piece of wood with all these little notches cut out of it. Let's see how well we can demonstrate this with one hand and left-handed. So it is the removable shelf that will drop down in there to go over the propane tank, which is going to be underneath here. So I wanted it to be pretty tightly fit so that really doesn't move at all. So it doesn't move because we're not able to, like, we can't like screw it in or glue it or anything because we need to be able to take it out in order to change out the propane tank when we need to refill. Took a while. In order to get all those notches, I got a cardboard piece and just laid it on top, and then came up from the bottom and traced along to get all those notches. Ow. And then marked where that piece needed to come out for that notch. And took a couple times in and out, but got it all done, and now it fits quite well. So the thing Andy has been working on today has been re-sealing the wheelchair doors, and I guess there's only like re-sealing the front.
It's like number 3 or 4
doors.
and number 5-ish for
Yeah.
this.
So we still have had some leaks on the inside, right up at this top corner. And so you did what? The rubber Flex Seal, the clear stuff on those 2 screws, and along something that looks like it might be a crack along the side. Ideally it's not, but we've got that covered now. Yeah. And here we've still had some leaks, just kind of down in this corner area, and so
We added Flex Seal in this area. Did you do anything up in this?
Nope.
okay. And spray that with
Waterproof
waterproof
mat.
and
This stuff that
Sit
looks
down
like it's
there.
dripping is actually the rubber sealer that is
Yeah.
now sealing the seam between a few of these different materials.
so hopefully it just won't get in any further than that when it rains.
I also adjusted the door seal because the bottom half of the door was not connecting to the rubber gasket. So that just meant undoing these bolts and sliding this this bracket back.
So that these two actually
There was like a 1-inch gap.
Yeah.
Well, not a 1 inch, but that distance of a
Yeah.
gap between the two.
So that will help too, hopefully.
Yeah.
Just in case we didn't see this already, Andy also got all 4 ceiling panels painted today.
On the front and the back.
And that's really not showing up well, but
They turned out really well. Just trust us.
Yeah.